Could India genuinely step in to rescue France's most ambitious sixth-generation stealth fighter project from absolute ruin? Welcome to Taranov's Geopolitics, your home for unfiltered, deep-dive military analysis. Right now, Europe's flagship air combat program has suffered a massive fracture, and New Delhi is making bold moves that might reshape global air power forever. In today's video, we are breaking down the entire picture: how the original European fighter project fell apart, why the Indian Air Force is pushing to co-join this ultra-advanced program, the massive geopolitical risks surrounding China's rapid rise, and whether New Delhi will actually get real technology transfer or just another empty assembly line. Make sure you stick around all the way to the end, because the high-stakes leverage game playing out between Paris and New Delhi is something you simply cannot afford to miss. India may emerge as an unexpected powerhouse that helps France rebuild Europe's troubled sixth-generation fighter project. The Indian Ministry of Defense has officially confirmed that New Delhi has begun targeted efforts to co-join France's Future Combat Air System, widely known as FCAS. This move could grant India an unprecedented seat at the top table of next-generation combat aviation. The disclosure was submitted straight to Parliament, arriving just on the heels of the original Franco-German alliance falling to pieces. The timing here is seriously critical. Back in 2017, France, Germany, and Spain launched FCAS as a megaprogram to forge the next era of European dominance in the skies. It was never conceived as just a single jet. Instead, it was planned as a total combat ecosystem featuring an ultra-fast combat cloud, autonomous swarming drones, and a radical new stealth fighter. But behind closed doors, managing the project turned into an absolute logistical nightmare. The primary corporate titans, Dassault Aviation in France and Airbus Defence and Space in Germany, completely locked horns over core intellectual property, workshare splits, and overall design authority. When two corporate giants refuse to budge on who gets the master blueprints, things go south fast. The joint fighter arrangement between Paris and Berlin was officially shut down in June 2026, opening a gigantic void. That sudden breakdown gives India a rare, massive window of opportunity, leading straight into why New Delhi is so deeply interested in the first place. FCAS presents India with a golden ticket to co-develop futuristic aerospace technologies that could completely redefine air combat for decades to come, something an off-the-shelf import could never provide. Right now, India is already pushing hard on its own indigenous fifth-generation jet, the Advanced Medium Combat Aircraft, or AMCA. But attempting to build a comprehensive sixth-generation combat ecosystem completely alone requires astronomical budgets, extreme propulsion breakthroughs, specialized stealth coatings, next-level artificial intelligence, and advanced drone swarming links. Taranov's analysis is that skipping the intermediate research steps through a direct French alliance could save New Delhi decades of trial and error. There is already massive industrial momentum between these two defense partners. India is actively advancing a procurement pipeline for 114 Rafale multi-role fighters. France has submitted its formal technical and commercial proposals, packing in significant local production inside Indian facilities. But an entry into FCAS is an entirely different beast compared to standard procurement. Indian defense planners do not want another domestic wrench-turning gig where foreign kits are merely bolted together. They want pure industrial muscle and homegrown sovereignty. That brings us right to the ultimate obstacle: will real technology transfer actually happen? This specific friction point is where high-level talks could grind to a complete halt. Decades of foreign fighter contracts have taught India the hard lesson that basic domestic assembly does not equate to genuine military independence. The actual strategic value of joining FCAS will be judged entirely by the real engineering authority France is willing to concede. Critical questions must be answered right off the bat. Who controls the master flight design? Who retains the underlying intellectual property rights? How much core airframe structure can Indian engineers directly modify? Will India gain unrestricted access to source codes and sensor integration architecture? And will domestic Indian weapons be plug-and-play without foreign clearance? Take a second to think about how critical these questions are when a country is surrounded by regional adversaries. If you are enjoying this breakdown, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe right now so you do not miss our upcoming deep dives. The existing Rafale saga highlights the exact paradox. Even as India pushes ahead with extensive local production for the 114 jet order, unrestricted access to the most sensitive black box avionics remains strictly guarded by Paris. Basically, FCAS will either turn into a historic technological leap or just another overly expensive license building project. New Delhi is strictly gunning for the former. This ambitious leap towards sixth-generation hardware is running headfirst into a pressing reality: the Indian Air Force's shrinking fleet. The Air Force currently operates approximately 29 active fighter squadrons, which sits dangerously below the authorized operational baseline of 42 squadrons. That massive deficit creates a severe defense planning dilemma. While chasing an ultra-futuristic platform whose operational delivery might be 20 years down the road, India has to simultaneously keep older airframes airborne, ramp up home-built Tejas output, integrate new Rafales, and fund AMCA. That is a lot of balls to keep in the air at the exact same time, frankly speaking. This is why the 114 Rafale acquisition remains vital in the short term, putting metal on the tarmac to stop squadron decline. FCAS, meanwhile, targets the long-range technological gap. These two tracks do not need to fight each other. France can leverage the active Rafale deal to lay a strong foundation for the next-generation jet. But can Indian participation genuinely rescue the entire FCAS venture? The short answer is yes, but throwing pure cash and factory floors into the mix will not solve the underlying disease. Remember, toxic industrial turf wars are what killed the original Franco-German pact. France demanded total leadership and control over the aircraft's core architecture, while Germany insisted on heavy industrial parity. That clash broke the program wide open. If India enters without airtight operational boundaries, the project could easily spiral into a chaotic three-way standoff involving France, Germany's successor initiatives, Spain, and India. If France restructures the program into a balanced two-pillar model, India brings something no European partner could match: massive scale, sustained domestic demand, and a massive defense budget. Taranov's analysis is that this turns India from a conventional buyer into a mission-critical co-developer. This partnership holds the potential to construct an expansive aerospace ecosystem spanning advanced radar, mission computers, indigenous weapon integration, and jet engine metallurgy, provided Indian aerospace firms receive true design responsibilities. Connecting all these dots reveals a massive external catalyst: the rapid rise of China's air power. Beijing is rapidly churning out stealth fighters, expanding carrier wings, deploying long-range missiles, and integrating sophisticated artificial intelligence into combat clouds. By the time the AMCA enters full service, India risks facing a Chinese air fleet that has already evolved to the next tactical tier. Securing an active stake in a sixth-generation program is New Delhi's fastest way to maintain regional air deterrence. Yet, balancing all these defense priorities at once carries real operational friction. India needs airframes on runways today, engine technology needs major maturation, and a jet entering service in the late 2030s does nothing to fix current squadron shortages. FCAS must be viewed strictly as a long-term technology roadmap, not an emergency fleet fix. The strategic cards on the table are fascinating because both Paris and New Delhi hold serious leverage. France urgently needs industrial scale and funding after its European alliance fractured, while India requires an expressway into next-generation aerospace technology. New Delhi will undoubtedly bargain aggressively at every step. If India secures genuine design ownership, deep software access, and independent weapon clearance, this deal could easily become the defining defense partnership of the century. If it gets reduced to assembly line labor, the strategic payoff drops to zero. Taranov's analysis is that the ultimate factor rests on whether France is truly ready to treat India as an equal aerospace peer rather than just a very lucrative export market. That exact decision will determine whether FCAS goes down in history as a failed European dream, or the birth of a dominant Franco-Indian sixth-generation powerhouse. If you like this podcast, please like, subscribe and share.